Hello, it's the Al Media UEFA Champions League watch along. But before we start off with the game, which will be starting off in the next couple of minutes or so, I'll be taking some predictions. And this time I have Young with me. Young, what do you think will be the score after 90 minutes?
The scoreline will be 2-1 in favor of Real Madrid.
You're going for Madrid 2-1 win?
Yes.
For the first time at Etihad?
For the first time in 6 years. I think this is their time.
Yeah, to win at Etihad.
To win at Etihad.
And who do you think the scorers will be?
Vini Jr. is scoring and then Rodrigo is scoring also. And then we have Vardio scoring for City.
Vini Jr., Rodrigo, and Vardio.
Yeah.
No Haaland.
No Haaland.
Kylian Mbappe. Okay, so we just took the prediction. I'll also be joined by my pundit very soon, and I'll also be taking their thoughts and then also predict. Hello, welcome. It is Champions League night again on the Al Media channel. It is the watch along UEFA Champions League night. My name is Josiah. It's the big one actually happening at the Etihad. It's been dubbed the final before the grand finale, or the final before the final. Real Madrid are visiting Manchester City. It's a repetition of last season's semi-final game, and then these two powerhouses go head-to-head again. And like we do it, it is the watch-along party. So we'll be running you through with commentary and then also the first 11 of both sides. So before we set the ball rolling, let me introduce my guests to you. They'll be helping me throughout 90 minutes as we bring to you non-stop action, end-to-end stuff from these two big teams. I have with me here in the studio, that's Courage to my left, and then Delali Frank to my extreme left. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
There's a big game. I think it's already started. We'll be running through, the play-by-play commentary and then also the team sheet. But let me start off with you, Delali. It's a big game. You wouldn't be expecting these two giants, to be meeting at this point in the competition. But what does that mean? Does it take the fun out, or what do you see actually, or what do you anticipate from this particular game?
Well, I think UEFA promised more competitive matches in the early stages of the Champions League. Obviously, apart from having a lot of games on match days, I think the other thing that this new Champions League format promises is tough matches in the preliminary stages. So getting to see Manchester City play against Real Madrid in the early stages of the Champions League is the difference in the new format. So for me, obviously, I was expecting such games, but it looks like it's almost planned because we've had these fixtures for far too long in the Champions League. But so far, I was expecting such fierce games, and then I think I'm not surprised.
But were you not disappointed that you have two sides that were in the last season, and then all of a sudden in the playoff round, not even the round of 16, you have these two teams locking horns again? Then perhaps one of the big teams in the tournament could be booted out very, very early.
But I think that's the a bit disappointing part, but also as a draw. Like if you are lucky, you get an easier path. If you are not lucky, you get a tougher path. And also, if you want to be a champion, you have to beat the best. So I think either teams, whoever wins this game, I think stands a bigger chance of winning. As their coaches have said.
Even regardless of their form currently.
Oh yeah.
Kai, let me bring you in. It's a big one actually. It's a playoff round, the first of its kind in the history of the UEFA Champions League since its reform in 1992. Now there's a playoff round where you have the two winners of the last two seasons being pitted against each other. What should we expect from this game?
It's absolutely a blockbuster. You expect one of the best football, because these are, if not top three, top two football clubs when it comes to UEFA Champions League in recent times. Yeah. Manchester City won it just a couple of years ago. Madrid are still in the game. They've won it 15 times, which is a record. So coming up, historically, any team that wins from this fixture goes on to win the trophy.
That's what you think? You think any team that actually wins this fixture will go on to win it?
That's what has been happening for a while now. I think to out of their form meetings, that was the outcome.
Okay.
Yes.
But not in the not in the knockout stage, but this is the playoff round.
Yes, but at any stage at all.
Oh, technically, you believe it's still...
Yes, with Manchester City's only trophy, only Champions League trophy. They had to beat Real Madrid to claim that success.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a very big game. Then we look forward to a very fair rivalry, and then they are beginning to create some kind of rivalry between them, because even already there's been the Ballon d'Or challenge, Rodrigo and then Vinicius Jr.
Well, we're talking about what actually the impact that could have on the game, because already Carlo Ancelotti, who is the manager of Real Madrid, has stated that this is the UEFA Champions League's version of the Clasico because of the frequency with which it's been happening. But gentlemen, like I said, we'll be running, the play-by-play commentary. But first, let's take a look at, the tactical setup from both teams. So with Manchester City, it's a 4-2-3-1, formation from them, where you have Ederson in post. The back four is made up of Akanji playing at right back, Diaz, Ake, and then Vardiol, obviously playing from the left-hand side of defense. Then there's a new face, not really a new face, but an unusual face in midfield. Talking about the double pivot, where you have John Stones partnering Bernardo Silva, and then the Savino, KDB, Grealish playing behind Erling Haaland. Courage, what do you see? What's the whole idea from Pep Guardiola, setting up this way? So the game is still in session, 4 minutes played. The best chance so far, it was a half chance, falling to Manchester City, in the second minute, but nothing threatening so far. What do you make of the setup from Pep Guardiola?
The surprise package from this setup is Jack Grealish having a
you think he's not been good
starting
enough?
bet. No, I wouldn't say he's not been good enough, but he doesn't deserve a starting bet. From my point of view, I think they are equally good players. The likes of Omar Mamouche, Doku, and stuff. I was anticipating their starts ahead of Jack Grealish. And then also, this is not something new, but then I think this is the point that most football pundits and then football fans term it as overthinking.
Or you think he's already overcomplicating things for himself?
Yes, because why would you have Mateo Kovacic and the guy that Ilkay Gundogan and the likes on the bench, and then decide to play
Jack Grealish up front,
not John Stones in midfield?
But do you actually side with Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, I do, because I think Real Madrid, City are playing against a Real Madrid side that at least have one of the best offensive players in the world. You are playing against Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. At least what you need, in as much as you are going to attack, what you also need is your ability to defend.
Okay.
And that's when Real Madrid play against City. Obviously, City will dominate possession. But on counter breaks, you need somebody who would keep the ball. And that's what John Stones gives you. Naturally, he's a defender. So when the team is attacking, you don't see him go a lot. So if City are offensive, he's one of the players that would stay. So he will not join the attack. So you leave Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne to do more mobility. So in as much as you see De Bruyne in the middle, in the starting 11, you will see him move a lot, because John Stones give him that mobility to move around. Kovacic is good, but he's a box-to-box DM. He picks the ball and wants to move.
We'll still be sticking to that John Stones playing in that double pivot role, which we've not seen. But do you think Pep Guardiola was actually taking a cue from when he was playing with that three-back system, so 3-2-4-1, where he used to play John Stones as a hybrid, centre-back playing? Exactly. Do you think he's trying to go back in a way? That's why the fact that this time is a 4-back from him, not a 3-back.
Yeah, so that's basically what he was trying to do. So what he wants to do is be at least 5 at the back when they are defending. And so that's what he wants to do. If they are defending as 5 back, then John Stones drops easily. And then Grealish goes into the middle. What Grealish gives you is his off-the-ball movement is very good. He's very workaholic. So he works very well for you on the wing side. So you see Grealish now on our screen. What he does is that he goes into the middle and joins the midfielders, so that it gives the fullbacks the opportunity to also be 1v1. If not, if you leave Real Madrid's flanks to isolate your fullbacks, they will always take them on.
All right, so 7 minutes played so far, and that current fixture, it's been dubbed the Clasico in the UEFA Champions League by Carlo Ancelotti. He's actually won the UEFA Champions League 5 times already, and Real Madrid, they've seen about 35% of the ball so far, but it's early days, you would be saying. But let's also look at the tactical setup from Carlo Ancelotti, where he also went with the 4-2-3-1 formation. But sadly for Ancelotti and Real Madrid, they only have 2 natural defenders in the setup. So the back four is actually made of Valverde playing as a right back. You have Tchouaméni also playing as a makeshift centre back. There's Raul Asensio, and then there's Ferland Mendy, all in front of Thibaut Courtois. Now, double pivot of Dani Ceballos and Edouard Camavinga. Then you have Vini, Jude, Rodrigo playing behind Kylian Mbappe. Kai, let me bring you in. The tactical setup. 2 natural defenders out of 10 outfield players. Should Madrid fans be worried?
You can't blame it on Carlo Ancelotti, actually, because his players has been hit with a couple of injuries. The only natural defenders he has are only 2, as you mentioned earlier, Ferland Mendy and then Asensio, who on any typical day, on any regular day, is not supposed to be in a starting 11 of the Real Madrid,
sets up, yeah.
yes. So it's just unfortunate that this is inevitable, and then he has to go that way. There are
so
four
not
lines.
to cut you short, but it looks like Kylian Mbappe is changing boots. I don't know
Yes,
what's actually
Diaz-
happening. but-
Diaz.
It was the lace. He had a quick run with Ruben Diaz, and I think he stepped on his lace.
So back to that tactical setup from Real Madrid, and how do they even hurt this Manchester City? We've seen City not to be so quick, and there's a big chance so far. And can he miss? And I think that is a penalty if the flag is not up. So they were saved over there. Yeah, they were let off the hook right there. And it could have been dangerous for Real Madrid.
But I think
Manchester City.
But I think what City are doing is they want to play a high line. Because the
Is
best
it an
way,
offside? Is it?
yeah,
Is
it was.
offside?
It was an offside.
Is he offside?
Yeah,
No,
he was. He was.
Is he offside?
was,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yes.
So
that's
the-
marginal, I think.
The best way they can manage what Pep is trying to do, and I've just witnessed, is they want to play a high line and manage the counter press and
From-
the pressing of Real Madrid.
But can they do it? Because against PSG, we saw
You have to
you know
be
what
very-
Bradley Barcola
You see how-
single-handedly did to this Manchester City defense.
So
I think
Madrid,
VAR is checking this.
what
Is it an off? No. So
what Madrid don't have now is the
it's
Toni
still
Kroos.
offside. So it was marginal. So
You
it's
saw how
still offside.
Barcelona managed to beat Real Madrid.
Yeah,
I think Pep Guardiola doing
with a
similar.
high line.
Keep the high line because
But you should also pray that they don't sneak through.
Yeah,
because it's risky. It's
it's risky, but
football.
that's the only way you can play them. Because Real Madrid now don't have that Toni Kroos passer of the ball.
So they need to carry the ball.
So we have players that are very good to beat the press and the offside line that you give just a tailored pass and you play the striker onside. Real Madrid midfield don't have that. So if you are smart enough, you can play them high line and you always get them offside. Because Vinicius Junior wants to run, Mbappe wants to run, Rodrigo wants to run. Apart from that, if you allow them to play wide and isolate you, you'll be dead. So you see, they don't want to go back. Real Madrid.
And that's the highlight we are talking about. And this time it's Vini Jr. who checks the pass straight to Kylian Mbappe. Can this be the first goal? No. And that's a good save actually from either side. And that's exactly what we are talking about. How one team sets up and how the other team tries to, head the other team. And you could see, the quick turnaround, the quick transition from defense to attack from Real Madrid. And they are still in possession. This time it's Rodrigo Gorgeous. Courage, it looks like you look a bit stunned over here by that fast breakaway.
Yes.
Should it be something we should expect from Real Madrid throughout 90 minutes?
You see,
This could be the first goal, and it surely could be. And what a chance! What a chance that was! So it was Nathan Ake and Ferland Mendy should be finishing that. He should be finishing that, shouldn't he?
How did he miss that? Ferland Mendy. I think Vini should have scored rather than passing the ball. You see, yes, so he made a mistake.
No, but he could have also. You could see someone calling for the ball.
I think that was from his weaker foot. But
I think
that's
just
not good enough
the
to
ball
justify
went onto Mendy, who happens to be there.
So it's a game to savo already. It's a huge one. And 11 minutes played. Also, let me remind you that there are other games going on. 2 more games already. PSG managed to beat Brest, their fellow, Ligue 1 side by 3-0. That's away from home. And then you have Juventus also playing against PSV, which is currently goalless. And then also in Lisbon, in Portugal, Sporting Lisbon also hosting Borussia Dortmund. "90 minutes at the Etihad and Manchester City. What an unbelievable night of football. And when you're dealing with a team that has actually won the UEFA Champions League 15 times, a record 15 times, then you should know that it's never over until the final whistle. And Jude Bellingham stealing the show once again. And for the first time in their history, Real Madrid gets themselves a win at the Etihad, at the background or the home ground, if I should put it, of Manchester City, something we've not seen. And heading into the game, we're anticipating that could this be the time Real Madrid, at least this is the weakest and the most fragile Manchester City side we've seen in the last 10 years under Pep Guardiola. And all of a sudden, they went to sleep, lapsed in concentration, and then Real Madrid pounced on it. Kari, let me start off with you.
City had the first laugh, but then Real Madrid had the ultimate laugh. In the first half, City went up 1-0, created very few chances. They took their only shot on target very well and then scored out of nothing. Yes, I said nothing because they didn't have more threatening chances. But then, on the other hand, Real Madrid had more threatening chances, but then failed to finish those chances off. In the second half, a coach like Carlo Ancelotti went into the dressing room, tweaked a bit of his formation, and then spoke to his players. You are champions. Go in there and then make the difference. And then what happened? They changed everything, and then Jude Bellingham became more visible in midfield, linking the defense to attack, and then being able to mobilize the midfield in general. They eventually got the equalizer, and then another goal which was a bit dubious for me, for where I'm sitting up to now. Yes, even as at half at the end of the game, as I'm still not convinced that was anywhere qualified to be a penalty. So yes, and then the Vikings scored, Haaland scored, and then jubilated wildly. We thought that would be the end, or maybe probably Man City adding up another one. But then what happened? The champions never sleep. They came back and then drew level in the 9 minutes of the game. But Kylian Mbappe got substituted off. We thought that would be the end, and then what happened again? Big games are made for big players. Jude Bellingham capitalized on Rico Lewis' error, and then that was the winning goal. So Real Madrid will go all the way to Santiago Bernabeu with 3 maximum points, awaiting for the return leg.
Interesting. Frank, what's your take?
I think obviously it's a game that when you watch the scoreline, you would look at it and say, wow, it was an end-to-end action. But I think if you watch the game itself, it wasn't really pretty much end-to-end like that. City, the first half, they scored a goal, but I would say they ended at the first half the lucky side, because Real Madrid created most of the chances, but they were not clinical front. They had a lot of attempts, but only one attempt on goal. Unfortunately, couldn't score. City had a lot of attempts at goal, and the one that was on target ended up being the goal, which was the difference. I think the second half, I said that Real Madrid don't have to do a lot of changes, because so far, if you follow the scoreline, you'll be disturbed. You'll be a bit misjudged. You misjudge the game, because Real Madrid were creating more chances. It was just a matter of they being clinical. So once they had the slightest chance and then Kylian Mbappe scored, then they realized that if they consistently continue doing that, it's going to pay off. City had a good moment. Pep Guardiola tweaked. He started to attack with a 3-back system, which helped him isolated Foden 1v1 versus Mendy, and he got a penalty. He came to score, and as characteristics of City this season, even if they are ahead, you are still a bit worried. And how much more playing against Real Madrid, a team with a lot of attackers. Real Madrid came back to equalize, made it 2-2, and then last minute got the third goal. I think this has been the best. You said this was the better time for Real Madrid to at least get a victory, because City themselves have not been great, in as much as the individual players are still there. These are the same individual players that have been playing for Manchester City, but as a group, they've not really been their better side. And for me, I think Real Madrid, in as much as they've lost a lot of defenders, Ancelotti, I think a lot of people have said that Ancelotti have won a lot of things with this Real Madrid squad, and he will need a lot of challenges. I think one of the challenges he needs now is the fact that he has so many defenders out of the team, and he has to play players of not their favorite position. And I think that's his challenge this season. I think he's really come up. Valverde played on the right side, was very great. We've seen him play Tchouaméni as a centre back, Asensio as one of the centre backs, and I think so far so good. He's been able to get the best out of them. And this is what the Real Madrid squad needs. One of the challenges that they need is, now they've won the Champions League a lot of time, they need a lot of challenge now. The challenge is that they don't have a lot of defenders available. They have to play players out of their position. Would they be able to go all the way and win? I think that's what they are doing. To beat City clearly sends a message to all the teams left in the competition that we are Real Madrid, and no matter no matter the opponent, no matter your side, no matter who you are, whether you are Pep Guardiola, who you are, we will come and play to our structure. Jude Bellingham, man, come on, one of the best England players you can find on the earth. Very good. He understands his role. Very box to box. One thing I like about him is his work rates, his ability to, because he starts the attack and make sure he ends the attack. That's not something you get from a midfielder. Starts the attack, goes for the ball from the goalkeeper, and is also ready to end the attack when there's an opportunity. And for me, that's a very solid move. Kudos to Real Madrid. I think first time they've been able to get a victory at home. I don't see, maybe it's the early days yet, but it really take a lot for Manchester City to go to Spain and even get a point.
But with this scoreline, gentlemen, quickly, you think Madrid are true to the round of 16?
I think so.
You don't rate Guardiola off just like that. Anything can happen. They got 3 goals last season. nothing stopped them from replicating that same thing. Yes.
So you think it's
If it's-
open
if-
for you?
It's still early days yet.
If it was last season, I would have think twice about it. But I don't think this, unless maybe the
What
game
happened in Real Madrid's last league home match?
They drew to Atletico Madrid by one.
Yes,
to Atletico
so
Madrid.
that's same.
By a draw against City will mean they are
against
still
City will
through.
see. So what now? They just need a draw. And this City, if you are being very honest, Atletico Madrid this season play on a bit more competitive as compared to Manchester City. If this result was last season, I would have been a bit more skeptical about City going to Spain to go and get a result. But this kind Manchester City form, I don't think it will be really possible. Because the second leg, if Real Madrid gets at least one defender back, they push Valverde straight into the midfield.
Yeah, they are good to go.
They are good to go.
Even with a makeshift defense, you feel.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Interesting. And this is a game of football. But it's not just football as well. This is the UEFA Champions League. And that's what you get when you pit the last two winners of the UEFA Champions League against each other. This was just fireworks. It was absolutely stunning. It was one of the most iconic games you could ever watch in the UEFA Champions League. Thanks so much, gentlemen. Delani Frank, and then also Courage.
Always a pleasure being
Thanks
here.
for being a part, and also thanks to the the production team actually, led by
Shout out to Baba.
Alfred Akwe. Done a marvelous job, and thanks to you as well. But don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because we'll be bringing to you the rest of the games from the UEFA Champions League, the big games actually, and you could be a part of it. Bye for now.